Hello, everyone. My dear brothers and sisters, listen to me. I won't stand here and tell you success is some golden bird waiting to land on your shoulder. I won't spin you tales of luck or fortune, of stars aligning just right. No, child, success is born in the mind long before it shows up in the world. It starts with a thought, a whisper, a flicker of something deep inside you saying, I can. And if you're wise, if you're strong, if you have the good sense to nurture that flicker, it will burn into a fire so fierce, so unstoppable that nothing, no man, no mountain, no dark night can put it out. You want to know how to build a successful mindset? First, you must believe in yourself. Even when the world shrugs its shoulders and turns away, you must walk with your back straight and your eyes ahead, even if the road is long and lonesome. Speak your dreams out loud, even when the only voice answering back is your own. I want you to close your eyes for a moment and see yourself standing in the life you dream of. Not the life you have now, not the life the world expects you to settle for, but the life that burns in the quiet corners of your heart. Can you see it? Can you feel it? If you can, then you are already on your way. If you can't, then, my dear, that is where we must begin. Success is not given, it is not found, it is created, and before it ever shows up in your hands, it must first live in your mind. You must believe in something before the world gives you proof. You must have faith in your own voice before anyone else will listen. The most powerful dreams are not seen with open eyes, but with a heart that refuses to accept limits. I have seen people stumble not because they weren't talented, not because they weren't strong, but because they never believed in their own possibility. They looked at the world and waited for permission to rise. They waited for someone to tell them they were good enough, smart enough, worthy enough. But let me tell you something, child. You were born enough. From the moment you took your first breath, you carried within you the power to build, to create, to transform. You don't need the world to believe in you first. That is your job. And I know, belief is not easy. Life has a way of knocking the air from your lungs, of shaking your foundation until you wonder if you should even bother. There will be days when you question if the dream is worth the struggle, if the fire is worth the burns. There will be people who will look at you not with wonder, but with doubt, with small minds and smaller words. But listen to me when I say, you must hold steady. You must see yourself beyond the moment, beyond the storm, beyond the shadow of fear that tries to make a home in your mind. Success does not begin when the world finally claps for you, when the doors swing open and the light pours in. No, it begins in the dark, in the silence, when it is just you and your dream, when no one else sees it, when no one else believes it. And it is in that moment that you must hold on tight. Because the belief you build in solitude will be the foundation that carries you through every challenge, every obstacle, every long night when the road seems endless. If you are waiting for proof before you believe, you will be waiting forever. If you are waiting for certainty before you start, you will never move. The ones who succeed, the ones who rise, they are not the ones who had the easiest path. They are the ones who had the courage to take the first step without knowing exactly where it would lead. So tell me, my dear, what is it that you see when you close your eyes? Do you see greatness? Do you see strength? Do you see a future that makes your heart pound with excitement? If you don't, then it's time to change the picture. It's time to stop filling your mind with doubt and start filling it with faith. It's time to stop repeating the words of those who told you you couldn't and start speaking the words that tell you, yes, I can. The mind is the soil where success is planted. If you fill it with fear, with hesitation, with smallness, nothing great will ever grow. But if you fill it with belief, with vision, with determination, there is no limit to what you can build. Walk like you already have the success you seek. Speak as though the world is already listening. Believe beyond sight, beyond proof, beyond what the world tells you is possible. Because, my dear, the moment you see it in your mind is the moment you give it permission to become real. My dear, let me tell you something that the world often tries to hide. Failure is not the end of the road. It is not a heavy chain meant to weigh you down, not a mark of shame to be carried in silence. No, failure is the fire that forges strength, the lesson that shapes wisdom, the very thing that carves the path to success. You must not fear it. You must not run from it, because failure, my dear, is fuel. I have seen too many people turn back when they stumble. They hit one roadblock, one disappointment, and they convince themselves they were never meant to make it. They let failure whisper lies into their hearts, telling them they are not good enough, not smart enough, not strong enough. But listen to me, failure is not a verdict, it is a teacher. It is not there to break you, it is there to build you. Look at the ones who have made it, the ones who have climbed to the highest peaks, who have touched success with their own hands. Do you think they never fell? Do you think they never sat in the dark, questioning everything? No, my dear, they have failed more times than most people have even tried. The only difference is they did not let failure close the door. They did not take it as a sign to stop. They took their pain, their mistakes, their heartbreaks, and they turned them into something greater. You see, success does not belong to the one who never falls. It belongs to the one who refuses to stay down. If you fall 7 times, stand up 8. If one door closes, knock on another. If no one answers, build your own door. Because every failure you face is carving out the strength you need for the journey ahead. There will be days when you will want to quit, when the weight of disappointment feels too heavy, when the voice of doubt is too loud. But my dear, you must not let one dark moment make you forget the light that still burns inside you. You must take every setback and turn it into a stepping stone. Every rejection, every mistake, every tear, let them fuel you. Let them push you forward, not hold you back. Do not be ashamed of your failures. Wear them like badges of honor, because they mean you dared to try. They mean you had the courage to step out, to take a risk, to fight for something more. And that, my dear, is what separates those who dream from those who do. Success is not given to the one who never falls, but to the one who learns to rise again and again. So stand up, dust yourself off, and keep going, because every failure is not a stop sign. It is a lesson, a redirection, a test of how much you are willing to fight for your dreams. And if you can take that failure and turn it into fuel, there is nothing in this world that can stop you. The world will tell you to chase motivation, to wait for inspiration to strike like lightning, to move only when the fire of excitement burns bright. But let me tell you something that will change your life. Motivation is a visitor, but discipline is a resident. Motivation will wake up with you some days bright and eager, but on others, it will leave you standing in the cold, wondering where it went. And if you rely on it, if you wait for it, you will find yourself stuck in the same place year after year, dream after dream, never reaching, never becoming. Success does not belong to the one who moves only when they feel like it. It does not belong to the one who starts strong but fades when the excitement wears off. No, my dear, success belongs to the one who shows up, rain or shine, tired or energized, inspired or uninspired. It belongs to the one who laces up their shoes and takes that step even when the road feels long, even when the results are slow, even when there is no one watching, no one clapping, no one cheering their name. People will tell you they want success, they want greatness, they want change. But watch how they move. Do they work when no one is looking? Do they stay committed when progress is slow? Or do they fold at the first sign of boredom, at the first whisper of doubt? You see, my dear, the ones who win, the ones who rise, they are not the ones with the most talent, not the ones with the easiest path, but the ones who have mastered the art of showing up no matter what. Discipline is the quiet force behind every great success. It is the unseen hours, the sacrifices, the steady, unshakable commitment to the vision, even when the world gives you 1,000 reasons to stop. It is waking up early when sleep is calling your name. It is choosing progress over comfort, choosing the long road over the shortcut, choosing to keep going even when the results are small and the rewards seem far away. Oh, I know it's hard. I know there will be days when you want to rest, when the weight of your dreams feels too heavy, when the voice of doubt becomes a roar. But listen to me, this is the moment where champions are made. Not in the easy days, not in the moments of celebration, but in the quiet struggles, in the unseen battles, in the choices you make when no one is watching. If you only work when you feel inspired, you will never build something lasting. If you only show up when the mood is right, you will never reach your full potential. The difference between those who make it and those who don't is simple. The ones who make it did not wait to feel ready. They did not wait to feel good. They did not wait for the perfect moment. They built discipline like a muscle, one small choice at a time, one act of courage after another, until it became a part of them, until their success was no longer a question of if, but when. So, my dear, I ask you this: can you be the one who stays when others leave? Can you be the one who works when others rest? Can you be the one who moves forward when every part of you wants to stand still? Because if you can, then nothing, no obstacle, no failure, no doubt can keep you from what is meant for you. Words have power. The words you speak, the words you whisper to yourself in the quiet moments, the words you repeat in your mind when no one else is around, these words shape you, mold you, and decide the life you will live. You cannot speak in doubt and expect to walk in confidence. You cannot fill your mind with smallness and expect to build something great. What you tell yourself will become your reality, whether you like it or not. I have seen people with talent, with skill, with possibility woven into their very being, yet they never rise, never step into the greatness meant for them. Not because they weren't capable, not because they weren't worthy, but because their own words became their prison. I'm not good enough. I'll never make it. This is too hard. What if I fail? These words became chains around their ankles, and with every doubt they spoke, those chains grew heavier. But I have also seen those who had every reason to quit, every reason to believe they weren't enough, and yet they spoke differently. I am capable. I will figure this out. I am strong enough to keep going. They spoke life into their dreams, even when everything around them tried to bury them in doubt. And my dear, those were the ones who rose. Those were the ones who refused to let their own voice become their enemy. You must learn to speak your power. You must learn to be your own greatest encourager, your own strongest supporter, your own loudest champion. The world will try to tell you who you are, try to measure your worth by its own small standards. But it is your voice, your words that will set the truth in stone. If you wake up every morning and tell yourself you can't, you won't. If you convince yourself that you are not smart enough, not talented enough, not worthy enough, then that is the life you will create. But if you wake up every morning and declare, I am strong, I am worthy, I am building something great, I am unstoppable, then, my dear, there is nothing that can stand in your way. Oh, I know the world will test you. It will push against your words, try to shake your faith, try to make you forget the power in your own voice. But that is when you must speak even louder. That is when you must drown out the noise of doubt with the sound of your own belief. Your words will either build you up or break you down. They will either move you forward or hold you back. Choose them wisely. Choose them with care. Choose to speak the kind of words that lift you, that strengthen you, that push you toward the life you were meant to live. Because, my dear, the story of your life is written by the words you choose to believe. Listen to me. You cannot fly with people who are afraid of heights. You cannot grow in a garden where weeds of doubt and jealousy wrap around your roots. The company you keep will either lift you higher or pull you under, and if you are serious about success, if you are serious about building something greater than yourself, then you must walk with giants. There is a saying that if you are the smartest person in the room, you are in the wrong room. If you are the most driven, the most ambitious, the only one dreaming of something bigger, then, my dear, you are standing in a space too small for your greatness. The people around you should challenge you, push you, remind you that you are capable of more. They should call your name in rooms you have yet to enter. Speak your greatness even before the world sees it. And if they don't, then you must ask yourself, are they lifting you? Or are they keeping you where they are? Oh, I know it is hard. I know that some of the people you love may not understand your journey. They may look at your dreams and laugh, not because they are cruel, but because they cannot see beyond their own limits. But hear me when I say, you cannot let their fear become your ceiling. You cannot shrink to make others comfortable. If they do not see your vision, then, my dear, you must find those who do. Do not waste your energy explaining your dreams to people who have no intention of growing. Do not exhaust yourself convincing those who are content with smallness that you were born for something bigger. Instead, find those who make you reach higher. Find those who speak life into your dreams, who challenge you to be better, who remind you that the road is long, but the destination is worth it. You see, success is not built alone. No great leader, no innovator, no creator has ever risen to greatness without others beside them pushing them forward. The ones who go far are the ones who know that iron sharpens iron, that to grow you must be willing to stand beside those who demand more of you, not less. But be careful, my dear. Not everyone who walks beside you wants to see you win. Some will smile but secretly hope for your fall. Some will pretend to cheer, but only as long as you do not pass them. Learn to recognize who is truly in your corner and who is only there for the show. Surround yourself with those who celebrate your success as if it were their own, who do not feel threatened by your rise but are inspired by it. And when you find them, those rare souls who push you higher, who remind you of your power, who demand that you step fully into the greatness within you, hold on to them. Lift them as they lift you. Walk with them, build with them, grow with them. Because, my dear, the road to success is not meant to be walked alone. And if you are wise, if you are strong, if you have the courage to choose the right people, then there is no limit to how high you will rise. The sun does not ask for permission to rise. It does not wait for perfect conditions, does not hesitate when the night is long, does not stop shining just because the world is covered in clouds. The sun rises without fail every single day. And that, my dear, is exactly how you must move in this world, consistent, unwavering, refusing to be dimmed by doubt or delay. There will be days when everything feels heavy, when the road ahead seems endless, when you wonder if all your effort is even worth it. And in those moments, it is easy to think that stopping for a while, stepping back, waiting for a better time is the right thing to do. But hear me when I say this. Success does not come to those who wait for the perfect moment. It comes to those who keep moving, even when the moment is far from perfect. I have seen too many people give up, not because they lacked talent, not because they lacked intelligence, but because they lacked persistence. They mistook slow progress for failure. They mistook struggle for a sign to stop. They mistook one bad day for a reason to abandon the journey altogether. But my dear, success is not built in a day. It is built in the days when you feel like nothing is working, but you keep going anyway. Look at the trees, how they stand through the storms. Look at the rivers, how they carve their way through stone, not because they are the strongest, but because they refuse to stop. Look at the stars, how they continue to shine even when the world is too busy to notice. Everything in nature understands the power of persistence, and so must you. There will be times when you pour your heart into something and see no results. You will give your all and still come up short. You will do everything right and still face delays, setbacks, disappointments. But listen to me. None of that means you are failing. The results you seek are not gone. They are simply growing beneath the surface, waiting for their time to bloom. And the only way you will ever see them is if you refuse to give up. You must move like the sun, rising every day whether the world notices or not. You must push forward like the river, carving your path even when the way is blocked. You must shine like the stars, unbothered by who is watching, unaffected by the darkness around you, because persistence, my dear, is the heartbeat of success. So keep going. Keep working. Keep showing up. Because every step, no matter how small, is a step closer to the life you were meant to live. Life will hand you many things. Some you will cherish, some you will wish you could give back, and some you will not understand until much later. But among all that life offers, the greatest thing you will ever hold in your hands is your own growth. The world will change, people will come and go, circumstances will rise and fall, but if you are growing, if you are learning, evolving, stretching into the highest version of yourself, then nothing, absolutely nothing, can take your success away from you. You see, too many people chase goals without ever chasing growth. They want success, they want recognition, they want the prize, but they do not want to become the kind of person who can hold it. They run after money without learning how to manage it, seek leadership without developing wisdom, crave love without first learning how to love themselves. And then they wonder why, even when they get what they ask for, it slips through their fingers like sand. My dear, the success you seek is only as strong as the person you become along the way. The ones who truly win, who rise, who build something that lasts. They do not just chase achievements, they chase knowledge, discipline, understanding. They do not just work on their dreams, they work on themselves. They read, they learn, they ask questions. They seek wisdom from those who have walked the path before them. They do not waste their days proving their worth to others. They spend them sharpening their own minds, strengthening their own spirit, because they know that success is not just about what you get. It is about who you become in the process. Oh, I know growth is not always easy. It will stretch you, challenge you, demand things from you that you did not think you had to give. It will call you to face your fears, to break free from old habits, to walk away from people and places that no longer serve you. But listen to me, every time you grow, you expand your world. Every time you learn something new, you increase your power. Every time you choose growth over comfort, you take one more step toward the life you were meant to live. Do not be afraid of change. Do not resist the lessons that life is trying to teach you. Do not hold on to old versions of yourself simply because they feel familiar. You are not here to remain the same. You are not here to live small, to stay in places that no longer fit you, to repeat the same mistakes over and over again. You are here to grow, to evolve, to rise higher than you ever thought possible. And the most beautiful thing, my dear, when you commit to growth, when you decide that every day will be another step toward the person you are meant to be, then success is no longer a question of if, it is only a matter of when. My dear, you have everything you need within you. The strength to rise after failure, the discipline to keep moving when motivation fades, the power of your own words shaping your destiny, the wisdom to choose the right people, the persistence to push forward, and the courage to grow into the person you were meant to be. Success is not reserved for the lucky. It belongs to those who dare to believe, to work, to stand firm in the face of challenges. The road ahead will not always be easy, but you were never meant for an easy path. You were meant for greatness, for resilience, for a life that reflects the fire burning within you. So go forward with confidence. Rise even when you stumble. Speak power into your dreams. Surround yourself with those who uplift you. Show up every day, even when no one is watching. Grow, learn, and never stop becoming. Your journey is yours to create, and I have no doubt that you will turn every challenge into a stepping stone, every setback into a lesson, and every dream into a reality. Believe in yourself, trust the process, and walk boldly into the life you deserve. Good luck, my dear. The world is waiting for your greatness. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, beloved, let me tell you something. There is a storm that lives inside us. It rattles our bones. It tugs at our hearts. It whispers fears we have not yet named. It is anxiety, and it will have you thinking the sky is falling when the sun is shining bright. But I have seen storms before. I have walked through them, head held high, rain soaking my spirit, feet heavy with the weight of worry. And yet here I stand. And if I stand, beloved, so can you. Anxiety will try to make a home in your soul, but you must not let it redecorate. You must tell it, you may visit, but you cannot stay. You must tell it, you do not own me. Because anxiety is a thief, and it will steal your joy if you let it. It will snatch away your laughter, dim your light, make you forget that you were born for more than just surviving. You were made to thrive. There is a rhythm to life, a steady pulse that beats beneath all the noise. Yet so many of us forget to listen. We rush, we worry, we hold our breath as if bracing for impact. Anxiety has a way of tightening its grip, making us believe that the weight we carry cannot be set down. But oh, beloved, let me tell you, there is power in something as simple, as natural as breathing. Anxiety will have you convinced that every moment must be filled with doing, fixing, planning, worrying. It will keep your mind racing faster than your feet can carry you. But the truth is, life is not measured in the number of worries we collect, nor in the things we accomplish while our hearts tremble with fear. Life is found in the moments we allow ourselves to be fully, freely, without the heavy chains of what if and if only. And that, beloved, begins with a single breath. Oh, yes, breathe. Not just the shallow, automatic breaths that keep the body running, but the deep, soul-filling breaths that remind you that you are here right now in this moment. Do not rush past it. Do not let it slip through your fingers like sand. Feel the air filling your lungs, expanding your chest, grounding you in the now. Because that is where peace lives, not in the regrets of yesterday, not in the worries of tomorrow, but in this sacred space of now. When anxiety comes knocking, when your heart pounds like a restless drum, when your mind spins 1,000 stories of fear, close your eyes and breathe. Breathe in strength, breathe out doubt, breathe in calm, breathe out fear. Let your breath be an anchor holding you steady when the winds of worry try to carry you away. You see, fear thrives in chaos, but calm is found in stillness. And stillness does not mean doing nothing. It means being present. It means knowing that no matter how loud the storm rages outside, there is quiet within you waiting to be found. Every inhale is a reminder that you are alive. Every exhale is an invitation to let go of what does not serve you. Anxiety will try to steal your joy by keeping you trapped in a mind that will not rest. But beloved, you were not made to live in a prison of fear. You were made to dance in the sunlight, to feel the earth beneath your feet, to taste the sweetness of laughter, to embrace the ones who bring warmth to your heart. And none of that can happen if you are too lost in worry to see the beauty that surrounds you. Happiness is not a destination you reach once you've solved all your problems. No, joy is something you choose, breath by breath, moment by moment. It is in the way you notice the golden hue of the morning sky, in the way you savor the warmth of a cup of tea, in the way you listen, truly listen to the laughter of a child. When you learn to breathe deeply, you begin to see deeply. You begin to live deeply. So let go of the breath you've been holding. Let go of the tension that is settled in your shoulders, the worry that has taken root in your chest. Let go of the idea that you must have everything figured out before you can be at peace. Life is not waiting for you to fix yourself before it allows you to be happy. Life is happening now, and it is yours to claim. Breathe deeply, live fully, because, beloved, this moment is all we ever truly have. Fear has a way of whispering in the quiet corners of your mind, doesn't it? It knows the right words to make you doubt yourself, to make you question your strength. It sneaks in when you're alone, when the world is still, when the weight of expectations presses against your chest. Anxiety will have you believing that your worries define you, that your fears are the truest thing about you. But beloved, listen to me. You are not your fears. You are not the voice that tells you you're not enough. You are not the doubt that creeps in when you're trying to rise. You are so much more. Fear is loud, but your soul is louder. Fear is fleeting, but your strength is eternal. And yet, how often do we let fear take the lead? How often do we let it sit in the driver's seat, deciding where we go, what we try, who we become? It will tell you to stay small, to stay quiet, to stay within the lines. It will try to convince you that playing it safe is the same as being safe. But let me tell you something. Fear is a liar. It will make a prison out of places meant to be doorways. It will turn possibilities into impossibilities if you let it. But beloved, you are not made of fear. You are made of light, of resilience, of every victory you have ever won. Do you remember those? The days you thought you wouldn't make it, and yet you did. The nights you cried, but still woke up and carried on. The moments when the weight was too heavy, but you found a way to keep going. That is who you are. Not the fear, not the doubt, not the anxious thoughts that tell you you're not strong enough. When fear tries to write your story, take the pen back. When anxiety tells you to shrink, stand tall. When worry tells you to stay hidden, step into the light. Because fear will always exist, but it does not have to control you. You may feel anxious, but that does not mean you are weak. You may feel afraid, but that does not mean you are powerless. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is moving forward despite it. And oh, how strong you are when you choose to move forward. Anxiety wants you to believe that every worst-case scenario is waiting for you just around the corner. It wants to keep you in a loop of hesitation, second-guessing, and what-ifs. But beloved, what if things go right? What if you are stronger than you think? What if joy is just waiting for you to claim it? Worry will paint a picture of everything that could go wrong, but faith will remind you of everything that could go right. And faith does not mean certainty. It does not mean knowing every answer before you take the first step. Faith is simply trusting that you have made it through every hard day before, and you will make it through this one too. Faith is remembering that you have already faced storms and still found the sun. Faith is knowing that no matter how many times fear knocks, you do not have to answer the door. You have lived too much, survived too much, grown too much to be reduced to your worries. Fear may visit, but it cannot stay. Doubt may whisper, but it does not speak truth. You are bigger than what scares you, stronger than what tries to break you, braver than the voice that tells you to hide. So when fear rises, so do you. When worry grips your heart, take a deep breath and remind yourself, you are not your fears. You are the love you give, the strength you carry, the dreams that refuse to be silenced. You are not small, you are not weak, you are not broken, you are alive, and that is power enough. There is something about the human heart. It aches for what it does not have. It longs for what has not yet arrived. It turns its eyes toward the future, always reaching, always waiting, always searching for the thing that will finally bring peace. Anxiety feeds on this longing. It tells you that you must do more, have more, be more before you can finally rest. It keeps you running, keeps you restless, keeps you believing that joy is something waiting for you in a distant tomorrow. But beloved, let me tell you something. Joy is not hiding. Peace is not some faraway prize. The key to happiness is not in what is missing, but in what is already here. And the door to it, oh, it opens with gratitude. Gratitude is not just saying thank you. It is a way of seeing, a way of living, a way of breathing. It is the decision to turn your eyes toward what is good, even when the world tries to show you what is lacking. It is the practice of pausing in the middle of the noise and choosing to acknowledge the beauty that already exists. And beloved, there is always beauty, even in the hardest days. Even in the heaviest moments, there is still something worth holding on to. A sunrise that spills golden light across the sky. A song that makes your heart beat a little steadier. The warmth of a cup of tea between your hands. The sound of laughter, even if it is not your own. Anxiety will try to keep you focused on what is wrong. It will count every problem, stack them high like bricks, building a wall between you and happiness. But gratitude? Gratitude is a hammer. It knocks down those walls. It reminds you that even in the middle of a storm, there is still a sky above you. That even when things feel heavy, there is still light to be found. That even on the days when your heart feels weary, you are still here, still breathing, still alive. And that, beloved, is something to be grateful for. It is easy to let the mind spiral into worry, to let fear tell you all the reasons you should be afraid. But what if, instead, you let your heart count the things that make life worth living? What if in the moments of doubt you reached for just one thing, one small, simple thing to be thankful for? Not because it erases the hardship, not because it makes every struggle disappear, but because it shifts your vision. Because it reminds you that fear is not the only thing that exists. Because it lets you hold on to something real, something good, something true. Happiness is not waiting in the future. It is not something you will find once everything is perfect. Happiness is in the small moments, the quiet joys, the everyday blessings that so often go unnoticed. And gratitude? Gratitude is how you see them. It is how you gather them up, hold them close, let them fill the spaces where worry once lived. It is how you take back your peace, one thankful breath at a time. So, beloved, start small. Right now in this moment, find one thing to be grateful for. Let it be simple. Let it be enough. And when fear rises again, when anxiety tries to pull you away from the present, do it again. And again, and again, until one day you realize that fear no longer leads you, that anxiety no longer owns you, that you have built a life not on worry, but on wonder. Because, beloved, there is always something to be grateful for. And when you learn to see it, you learn to truly live. There's a way we speak to ourselves that we would never dare use on another soul. We say things in the quiet of our own minds that would break the heart of a friend if we said them out loud. We hold ourselves to impossible standards, punish ourselves for every mistake, and let the weight of our own expectations press heavy on our spirits. Anxiety feeds on this cruelty. It grows in the spaces where we forget to be kind to ourselves, where we allow self-doubt to settle in like an unwelcome guest. But, beloved, let me tell you something. You deserve the same kindness you give so freely to others. Think of the way you comfort a friend when they stumble. You do not tell them they are a failure. You do not remind them of every mistake they have ever made. You do not take their pain and make it heavier. No, you lift them. You remind them of their strength. You see their goodness even when they cannot see it themselves. You love them even in their brokenness. So why, beloved, do you refuse to offer yourself that same grace? Anxiety will have you believe that you must be perfect before you can be worthy of love, before you can be at peace. It will point out every flaw, magnify every misstep, and convince you that you are never enough. But let me tell you, that voice is lying. You were never meant to be perfect. You were meant to be real. You were meant to learn, to grow, to stumble and rise again. And through it all, you deserve kindness. From others, yes, but most of all from yourself. The words you speak to yourself matter. They shape the way you walk through this world. They either build you up or tear you down, and you, beloved, have torn yourself down long enough. It is time to rewrite the way you speak to yourself. It is time to replace cruelty with compassion, judgment with understanding, shame with grace. When anxiety tells you that you are not enough, remind yourself that you are more than enough. When doubt creeps in, whisper back with love. When fear tries to take root, uproot it with truth. You are worthy. You are strong. You are capable of beautiful things. Speak to yourself the way you would speak to someone you cherish. Speak to yourself as if your words have power, because, beloved, they do. There is no one in this world who will walk your exact path, carry your exact burdens, or see the world through your eyes. You are the only you that will ever exist, and that in itself is extraordinary. So do not be your own enemy. Do not let the weight of past mistakes keep you from stepping into joy. Forgive yourself. Be patient with yourself. Love yourself, not just in the moments when you feel strong, but in the moments when you feel fragile too. Anxiety thrives in self-criticism, but peace is found in self-acceptance. And self-acceptance is not about ignoring growth. It is about understanding that growth is a process, that you do not have to be perfect to be worthy of love, that your journey is not defined by the moments you fall, but by the moments you rise. Be gentle with yourself. Life is already hard enough without adding the weight of your own unkindness. Wrap yourself in the same warmth you give to others. Be your own safe place. Speak words to yourself that heal instead of harm, that lift instead of burden, that love instead of wound. Because you, just as you are in this moment, are worthy of every bit of kindness you have ever given away. There is a heaviness that comes from holding on to things that no longer serve you. Old wounds, past regrets, fears that have settled so deeply in your bones that they feel like part of you. Anxiety will tell you to keep carrying them, to keep turning them over in your mind as if reliving the pain will somehow undo it. But, beloved, hear me now. You cannot walk freely into joy while dragging the weight of what was. You cannot rise if your hands are too full of the past to reach for what is ahead. Letting go is not easy. It is not a single moment, not a simple decision to drop everything and walk away. No, it is a practice. It is an act of courage. It is choosing day by day to release what is keeping you from peace. It is loosening your grip on the things you cannot change and trusting that life has more to offer you than the pain you have known. Oh, but fear will fight you on this. It will tell you that if you let go, you will lose control. It will whisper that holding on to the hurt, to the anger, to the doubt will somehow protect you from being hurt again. But beloved, what has holding on ever given you except exhaustion? What has replaying the past ever done except steal the joy of the present? You do not heal by gripping tightly to your pain. You heal by allowing yourself to release it. You heal by recognizing that you are not who you were when the hurt happened. You are not the same person who made those mistakes, who faced those struggles, who felt that heartbreak. You have grown, you have changed, you have survived, and now, beloved, it is time to let go. Let go of the idea that you must have all the answers before you can move forward. Let go of the belief that your past defines your future. Let go of the guilt, the shame, the self-judgment that keeps you from seeing yourself as you truly are, whole, worthy, enough. Letting go is not forgetting. It is not pretending that the pain never existed. It is acknowledging it, learning from it, and then choosing to no longer let it control you. It is standing in the present and saying, I will no longer give my peace away to the things I cannot change. And beloved, when you finally release it, when you finally put down what has been weighing you down, you will feel it. The lightness, the freedom, the space that opens up in your heart for joy to take root again, because peace is not found in grasping tightly to the past. It is found in surrender. It is found in trusting that there is more ahead of you than behind you. So breathe, beloved. Breathe in possibility. Breathe out the burdens you have carried for too long. Let go of what no longer serves you and make room for laughter, for love, for happiness that is not built on fear, but on the beauty of all that is still to come. There is something about the way life moves, so fast, so relentless, pulling us from one thing to the next before we have even had the chance to catch our breath. We are always reaching for something, always running toward the next goal, the next milestone, the next achievement. And in all that rushing, all that striving, we forget one of the simplest, most important truths. Life is happening now. Not tomorrow, not someday when everything is perfect, right here in this very moment. And if you are not careful, beloved, you will miss it. Anxiety has a way of pulling you away from the present. It keeps your mind tangled in worries about what's ahead or regrets about what's behind. It tricks you into believing that happiness is something waiting for you in the future, something you must work towards, something that will come only after you fix yourself, after you reach your goals, after you prove your worth. But listen to me now. Joy is not hiding in the future. Peace is not waiting for you at some distant finish line. The only place you will ever truly find them is here, and oh, what a tragedy it would be to live your whole life waiting for happiness to arrive, only to realize it was here all along, waiting for you to notice, waiting in the warmth of the sun on your skin, in the laughter of someone you love, in the quiet moments, the small victories, the simple joys. How often do we overlook these things? How often do we brush past them, always looking ahead to what comes next? There is beauty in this moment, beloved, but you must slow down to see it. You must learn to be here fully and completely without rushing past it. You must give yourself permission to pause, to breathe, to take it all in. Life is not meant to be a checklist of achievements. It is not meant to be lived only in the big, grand moments. It is in the everyday things, the cup of tea in the morning, the sound of rain against the window, the way the sky shifts from blue to gold at the end of the day. And when you are present, truly present, something shifts. Anxiety loses its grip. Worry becomes quieter, because when you are here in this moment, you are not tangled in the fears of tomorrow. You are not drowning in the weight of yesterday. You are simply alive. And that, beloved, is enough. But it is not always easy. The mind is restless, always reaching, always searching for something more. It will try to pull you away, to tell you that this moment is not enough, that you should be doing more, achieving more, being more. But do not believe that lie. You are enough as you are right now. And this moment, this breath, this heartbeat is worthy of your attention. So slow down, pay attention, notice the small things, feel the warmth of your own existence. Let yourself be fully here without guilt, without rushing, without waiting for some better moment to arrive. This is the only moment you are promised, the only one you truly have. And what a shame it would be to let it slip by unnoticed. Be present, beloved, be here. Because this moment, this life is yours to live. There comes a time when you must decide, will you live a life ruled by fear, or will you step boldly into the unknown? Will you allow anxiety to keep you small, keep you hesitant, keep you from embracing all that this life has to offer? Or will you rise despite it all and claim the happiness that has always been waiting for you? Because, beloved, happiness is not something that simply arrives. It is something you choose, something you step into, something you claim for yourself, even when fear tries to convince you that you are not ready. Fear will always be there. It will always try to pull you back, whispering its doubts, reminding you of all the ways things could go wrong. It will tell you to wait, to hesitate, to keep yourself safe by never taking risks. But, beloved, safety is not the same as living. A life spent hiding is no life at all. A life spent waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect version of yourself, the perfect circumstances. It is a life that will pass you by before you ever truly live it. Do not let fear make your choices for you. Do not let anxiety steal your joy. You were not meant to live small, to stay stuck in cycles of hesitation and doubt. You were meant to move forward, to take chances, to try, to fail, to try again, to open yourself to the world, even when it scares you. Because on the other side of fear, beloved, is everything you have ever longed for. There will be setbacks. There will be moments when doubt creeps in, when worry wraps itself around your heart and makes you question everything. But do not let that stop you. Take a deep breath and take the next step anyway. Happiness does not come from never feeling fear. It comes from refusing to let fear stop you. And when you do, oh, how life will open up for you, how joy will find its way in, how suddenly the world will feel brighter, fuller, more alive, because happiness is not just about waiting for good things to happen. It is about allowing yourself to receive them. It is about believing you are worthy of them. It is about showing up for your own life fully, completely, without apology. So do not wait, beloved. Do not let fear convince you that you must delay your joy. Step into happiness. Claim it. Live it. Because this life is yours. And you deserve to live it fully. Beloved, life is too fleeting, too precious to be lived in the shadows of fear and worry. You have carried the weight of anxiety long enough. You have spent too many days waiting for happiness to arrive. Too many nights believing peace was something just out of reach. But hear me now. Joy is not a destination. It is not something you must earn. It is here within you, around you, waiting for you to notice, waiting for you to claim it. So choose gratitude over worry. Speak to yourself with kindness. Let go of what no longer serves you. Be present in the now. And most of all, step boldly into your own happiness. Not someday, not when everything is perfect, now. Because, beloved, you are worthy of joy. You are worthy of peace. You are worthy of a life that feels full and bright and beautiful. May you walk forward with courage. May you embrace each moment with an open heart. May you live not in fear, but in love. And may you always remember you have the power to create the life you dream of. Good luck on your journey, and thank you for allowing these words to be part of it. My dear friends, oh, my dear, life will hand you all kinds of folks. Some will lift you, some will test you, and some will make you question the goodness of the world. You know the ones who come sharp-tongued and heavy-handed. Who can turn a sunny day into a stormy by stepping into the room. But let me tell you something, no storm lasts forever, and no wind, no matter how strong, can shake the foundation of a soul that knows its worth. Difficult people? Oh, they will come. They will push, they will prod, they will try to make you small so they can feel big. They will throw words like daggers and wear their anger like armor. But listen to me, you are not here to be anyone's battleground. You are here to stand tall. You are here to rise. You see, people carry burdens you cannot see, pains you cannot feel, and fears they dare not speak. And sometimes that weight spills over onto you, but their darkness does not have to dim your light. No, you must learn to stand in your peace, in your knowing, in your unshakable grace. Oh, my dear, there will always be those who come crashing into your peace like a storm that doesn't know where to land. They will throw words like thunder, sharp and startling. They will move through life like a restless wind, stirring up dust, breaking branches, knocking over anything that stands too still. And if you let them, they will carry you right along with them, pulling you into the storm, making you believe you must fight the wind with more wind, that you must be loud to be heard, that you must meet fire with fire. But listen to me now. Your peace is your power. It is not something to be given away like loose change, tossed into the hands of those who demand a reaction. No, your peace is the very thing that keeps you whole. It is the thing that lets you stand when the world is shaking, that lets you see clearly when others are blinded by their own chaos. It is the thing that allows you to rise above, to move through life with grace, to walk into a room and shift the energy without saying a word. Difficult people will try you. That's just a way of the world. They will come with their bitterness, with their sharp tongues and restless spirits. They will poke and prod, looking for a crack, waiting for the moment you shatter so they can say, see, you are just like me. Because misery, oh, it loves company. It reaches for anyone willing to sit in its shadow. But you, my dear, you do not belong in the dark. You are not here to be pulled down into someone else's storm. You are here to stand tall, to stay steady, to be the calm in the middle of it all. And I know it is not always easy. It is hard to hold your peace when someone is throwing daggers at your spirit. It is hard to keep your heart soft when the world is trying to harden you. But strength is not in how loud you can be, how quick you can cut someone down with words, how easily you can win the battle of who is right. No, real strength is in knowing you do not have to fight every fight. Real strength is standing firm in your own grace, refusing to be dragged into the mess that does not belong to you. You see, difficult people are often hurting people. They are carrying burdens you cannot see, wounds they have never let heal. They lash out because they do not know another way. They raise their voices because they do not believe they will be heard otherwise. They try to shake you because they have never known steadiness in their own lives. And while you cannot fix them, while you cannot force them to be different, you can refuse to become them. You can refuse to let their storm change your sky. So when they come, because they will come, remember who you are. Remember that you are not here to match their anger, to dance in their chaos, to be a reflection of their own pain. You are here to be light, to be steady, to be so sure of yourself that no one, no matter how difficult, can make you forget your own worth. And when the moment comes when someone stands before you, trying to pull you into their storm, take a breath, a deep, steadying breath. Feel the power of your own peace, the way it holds you, the way it strengthens you. And instead of reacting, instead of letting them steal what is yours, simply smile, because there is nothing more powerful than knowing you are in control of yourself. Not every storm deserves your energy. Not every battle is yours to fight. Let them rage if they must. Let them storm if they need to. But you stay rooted, you stay whole, you stay at peace. Because your peace is your power, and no one, no matter how difficult, has the right to take that away from you. Oh, my dear, the world will tell you that every fight must be fought, that every word thrown your way must be caught and tossed back harder. It will whisper that walking away is weakness, that standing down means you have lost. But let me tell you something, wisdom is knowing when to walk away. And there is no strength greater than the strength it takes to hold your peace in a world that dares you to shatter. Difficult people will try to pull you into their chaos. They will stir up trouble just to see if you will dance in it. They will poke and push, waiting to see if they can break you, if they can drag you down to their level. And oh, how tempting it is to prove them wrong, to show them you are just as sharp, just as fierce, just as ready for battle. But hear me now, not every battle is yours to fight. Not every word needs an answer. Not every fire needs your breath to keep it burning. There is power in choosing silence. There is grace in stepping back. There is wisdom in knowing that some fights are nothing more than a test, a trap laid out to steal your energy, your joy, your peace. And you, my dear, are far too valuable to waste yourself on battles that do not serve you. You see, difficult people do not always want resolution. They are not always looking for understanding or truth. No, some just want to see you rattle. They want to see you flinch. They want to know that they have the power to pull you into their storm. And the moment you engage, the moment you let their fire become your fire, they have already won. Because the truth is, they do not need you to agree with them. They do not need you to fight back. They just need to know they can shake you. But listen, what if you chose not to be shaken? What if you let them huff and puff and rage all they want while you stood steady, unbothered, unmoved? What if you realized that your silence, your stillness, your refusal to engage was not weakness, but power? There is nothing more unsettling to a difficult person than a soul they cannot touch, a mind they cannot sway, a heart they cannot turn bitter. It is not easy, I know. It is hard to hold your tongue when someone is throwing sharp words your way. It is hard to stay calm when every inch of you wants to prove that you will not be walked over, that you will not be silenced. But the strongest person in the room is not always the loudest. The strongest person is the one who knows their worth so deeply that they do not need to prove it. You do not have to answer every insult. You do not have to meet every attack with one of your own. You do not have to let their battle become your burden. Because the moment you engage in a fight that does not serve you, you have already lost not to them but to yourself. And hear me when I say this, walking away is not giving up. Walking away is choosing yourself. It is protecting your peace. It is refusing to let someone else dictate your energy, your mood, your day. It is knowing that your time, your spirit, your light is far too precious to be wasted on someone who only wants to see it dim. So when they come, because they will come, stand tall but stand still. Hold your ground but hold your peace. And if the battle before you serves no purpose, no growth, no good, then take a deep breath, lift your chin, and walk away. Not because you are weak, not because you are afraid, but because you are wise enough to know that some fights are not worth losing yourself over. Let them battle themselves if they must. Let them throw words into the wind if they need to. But you choose wisdom, you choose grace, you choose yourself. Because no fight, no argument, a moment of proving a point is worth more than the peace you carry inside you. Oh, my dear, the world will tell you that kindness is soft, that grace is weak, that if you do not stand with fire in your voice and steel in your hands, you will be walked over. It will make you believe that sharp words and heavy hands are the only way to survive. But let me tell you something, kindness is not weakness. No, kindness is strength wrapped in grace. It is a kind of power that does not shake when others shake, that does not break when others break, that does not crumble just because someone else has forgotten how to be gentle. Difficult people will test you. They will come with their tempers, their impatience, their sharp edges, daring you to meet them at their level. They will try to pull you into their battle, try to make you believe that the only way to be strong is to match their harshness with your own. But listen to me, anyone can be angry. Anyone can throw words like stones cut deep just to feel powerful. That is easy. What takes true strength is holding on to your kindness even when the world is trying to rip it from your hands. Some will mistake your grace for weakness. They will believe that because you do not raise your voice, because you do not fight back the way they do, you are somehow less, somehow fragile. But oh, how wrong they are. Because it takes more courage to stay kind in the face of cruelty than it does to let cruelty turn you bitter. It takes more power to remain gentle when the world is anything but. You see, difficult people often come from difficult places. They are carrying weights you cannot see, wounds they have never let heal. They have spent so long fighting that they no longer know how to put their weapons down. And when they meet someone like you, someone who refuses to be hardened, someone who stands strong but stays kind, they do not always understand it. Some will push harder, trying to see if they can make you break. Some will scoff, believing kindness is nothing more than a mask for weakness. But let them think what they will, because you and I know the truth. Kindness is not about being passive. It is not about allowing yourself to be walked over or mistreated. No, kindness is knowing you have the strength to fight, but choosing, whenever possible, to rise above. It is standing firm without standing cruel. It is answering bitterness with wisdom, not with more bitterness. It is refusing to let the hardness of others change the softness in you. And I know it is not always easy. There will be days when you want to meet fire with fire, when you want to let your anger speak louder than your grace. But hear me when I say this, anger is fleeting, but kindness leaves a mark. A harsh word may feel good in the moment, but it does not build, it only burns. And you, my dear, are not here to be a fire that destroys. You are here to be a light that guides, that warms, that reminds the world that strength and kindness are not enemies. They are, in fact, the most powerful pair. So when you find yourself face to face with someone who is difficult, someone who is harsh, someone who does not yet know the power of gentleness, take a breath, a deep, steady breath, and remind yourself that their bitterness does not have to become yours. Their anger does not have to shape you. You can stand tall without standing hard. You can be firm without being cruel. You can be kind, not because they deserve it, but because you do. Let them throw their words into the wind if they must. Let them battle themselves if they need to. But you walk in kindness, you stand in grace, and you never let the world convince you that there is anything weak about that. Oh, my dear, some people carry storms within them. You can see it in the way they move, restless and unsettled, like a wind that never learned how to be still. You can hear it in their voices, sharp and heavy, words tumbling out like thunder, meant to shake whoever is standing close. You can feel it in the way they look at the world, not with wonder, not with peace, but with a weight so deep they don't even realize they are drowning in it. And sometimes, without warning, their storm spills over. It reaches out, searching for someone to catch its rain, someone to stand in its wind, someone to bear its weight so they don't have to. And if you're not careful, if you're not steady, you might find yourself standing in a storm that was never yours to carry. Difficult people will bring their rain to your doorstep, knocking at your peace like an uninvited guest. They will hurl their tempers, their complaints, their bitterness, hoping you will take it, hold it, make it your own. But listen to me now, you do not have to accept what is not yours. You do not have to open your door to every storm that comes knocking. People will tell you that you must engage, that you must absorb their anger, that you must react to every storm that crosses your path. But oh, my dear, that is not your burden to bear. The rain they carry, the clouds they live under, the lightning they throw, it is not yours to hold. You are not their umbrella. You are not their shelter. You are not here to drown in storms that do not belong to you. I know it is hard to watch someone rage and not rage back. It is hard to feel the winds of their bitterness and not let it shake your own peace. But strength is not found in matching their storm with one of your own. Strength is standing firm when the winds try to push you over. Strength is knowing when to step aside and let the rain pass without letting it soak into your soul. You see, people who carry storms often do not know they have a choice. They do not realize they can put the weight down, that they can step into the light, that they can choose something other than chaos. And when they see you standing there calm, unbothered, steady in your own grace, it unsettles them. It confuses them, because how can you stand in the same place they do and not be drowning? How can you hear their anger and not let it seep into your own voice? How can you feel their storm and not let it turn your sky dark? But that is your power, my dear. The power to say, no, this storm is not mine. The power to let them rage, to let them throw their lightning, to let them swirl in their own winds without ever stepping into the rain. The power to walk away, to stand tall, to hold on to your peace like a lighthouse holds on to its light, never shaken, never dimmed, no matter how wild the sea around it may become. And oh, they will try you, they will test you, they will reach for your calm, hoping to pull you into their storm. But you are not here to be moved by someone else's chaos. You are not here to be drenched by someone else's rain. So when they come, because they will come, stand firm. Stand in your peace. Stand in knowing that not every storm is yours to fight. Not every battle is yours to join. Not every wind must push you over. Some people carry storms, but you, my dear, you carry the sun. And no amount of rain can take that away from you. Oh, my dear, the world will tell you that you must fight every battle, that you must answer every insult, that you must meet every sharp word with one just as cutting. It will make you believe that to rise, you must push, that to win, you must dominate, that to be seen, you must be louder, harder, fiercer. But listen to me now, rising above is not about them. It is not about proving a point, not about showing them who you are in ways they will never understand. Rising above is about you. It is about protecting your peace, about holding on to your grace, about refusing to let the smallness of others shrink the bigness in you. Difficult people will come. Oh, they will come. They will test you with their words. Their restless energy searching for a way to pull you down into the place where they live. Some will come with bitterness wrapped in pretty words, disguised as concern, as honesty, as wisdom. Others will come with anger on their tongues, sharp and unfiltered, daring you to react, to defend yourself, to let your emotions spill out in a way that feeds their hunger for conflict. And if you are not careful, if you are not steady, you might believe that you must meet them where they are, that to be strong, you must fight. But let me tell you something, not every battle is worth fighting. Not every voice deserves your answer. Not every storm deserves your energy. And oh, my dear, you are too precious, too wise, too full of light to waste yourself proving anything to those who do not see, who do not hear, who do not want to understand. You see, difficult people do not always want resolution. Some thrive on the fight itself. They look for reactions, for fuel, for proof that they have power over the mood, the moment, the energy of the space they enter. And the greatest thing you can do, the strongest, the boldest, the most powerful thing is to refuse to play their game. Because when you rise above, when you walk away, when you choose peace over the pull of their chaos, you take their power away. You remind them that they cannot shake you, cannot pull you down, they cannot make you anything other than who you are. And oh, that unsettles, because nothing confuses a difficult person more than a soul that refuses to be moved by their storm. It is not easy, I know. There will be moments when the urge to defend yourself rises like a wave, when the temptation to match their energy burns in your chest. But remember this, your energy is sacred. Your peace is your own. Do not let them take it. Do not hand over your joy just to prove something to someone who will never see you clearly. There is a quiet power in walking away. There is strength in letting them speak while you hold your silence and letting them throw their words into the wind, while you stand firm in the knowing that you do not owe them your reaction. Because your value does not come from how well you fight, but from how well you stand, from how deeply you know your worth, from how high you can rise, not in anger, not in bitterness, but in grace. So when they come, because they will come, pause, breathe, remember who you are. And instead of falling into their storm, instead of answering their fire with fire, instead of giving them the reaction they seek, lift your chin, soften your heart, and rise. Not because they deserve it, but because you do. Because your peace, your joy, your light are too precious to be spent in places that do not honor them. Let them battle themselves if they must. Let them throw their words into the air. Let them wrestle with their own storms. But you walk in peace. You stand in grace. You rise, not because they expect you to fall, but because you know you were never meant to be anything less. Oh, my dear, the world will try to tell you that difficult people must be handled, must be managed, must be controlled. It will whisper that if you can just find the right words, the right tone, the right approach, you can change them, soften them, make them see reason. But listen to me now, your peace does not lie in fixing others. Your joy does depend on whether they understand you, whether they agree, whether they ever choose to change. No, your peace is yours to protect. And sometimes the only way to keep it safe is to set boundaries like a fence around a garden, strong and firm, not to keep the world out, but to keep your soul safe within. Difficult people do not always mean to be difficult. Some do not even know that they are. They have walked through life so used to taking, so used to pushing, so used to speaking without listening that they do not even realize they are stepping over the lines of others. And if you let them, they will step over yours too. Not because they are evil, not because they mean harm, but because they do not yet understand that not every door is theirs to walk through, not every space is theirs to fill, not every part of you belongs to them. And that, my dear, is where your power lies. Not in changing them, not in fixing them, not in making them see, but in knowing where you draw the line. In knowing when to say, this is as far as you go. Because boundaries are not about shutting people out. They are about keeping yourself whole. They are about knowing the difference between kindness and self-sacrifice, between patience and self-neglect, between love and surrendering who you are. It will not always be easy. Some will not understand. Some will call you distant, cold, selfish even. They will wonder why you no longer let them take what they once took so freely, why you no longer bend, why you no longer make yourself smaller just to make them more comfortable. But listen to me now, you are not here to be small for the sake of others. You are not here to give so much of yourself that there is nothing left for you. You are not here to be a well that anyone can drink from without ever giving back. No, my dear, you are here to stand in your own light, to know your worth so deeply that you do not let the weight of others become your own. To love with an open heart, yes, but to love yourself just as fiercely. And if that means stepping back, if that means saying no when you once said yes, if that means drawing a line in the sand and standing by it, then so be it. Because a love that demands you to lose yourself is not love at all. Some will respect your boundaries and some will fight them. Some will try to test the limits, to push past the walls you have built, to see if they can still reach the version of you that once let them take without question. And in those moments, you must stand firm. You must hold your ground. Because people will only treat you the way you allow them to. And if you do not respect your own limits, neither will they. It is not about anger. It is not about resentment. It is about love, the kind of love that knows its own value. The kind of love that does not have to break itself to be real. And when you set those boundaries, when you draw that line, do not explain yourself to those who do not wish to understand. Do not shrink under the weight of their opinions. Do not let guilt take root where wisdom has already bloomed. Because this, my dear, is your life, your peace, your joy. And if you must choose between pleasing others and protecting yourself, then let them be displeased. Let them misunderstand, let them wonder, but you stand in your truth. You guard your heart. You love yourself enough to know that you are not here to be everything for everyone, but rather to be whole, to be strong, to be free. Oh, my dear, the world will try to tell you that difficult people must be met with resistance, that their words and ways must be countered with force, that you must carry the weight of their opinions, their judgments, their misunderstandings. But hear me when I say this, you do not have to hold what does not belong to you. You do not have to carry their burdens as your own. You do not have to accept every word they throw in your direction. Difficult people will come, wrapped in their assumptions, armed with their judgments, convinced that they know you better than you know yourself. They will take your silence as weakness, your kindness as surrender, your boundaries as a challenge. They will tell you who they think you are, what they believe you should be, how they believe you should move through the world. And if you are not careful, if you are not steady, you might find yourself believing them. But let me tell you something, you do not have to take it. You do not have to hold on to words that do not serve you. You do not have to take their opinions and carry them on your back like a weight you were never meant to bear. No, my dear, you are not here to be shaped by the hands of those who do not see you clearly. You are not here to shrink beneath the gaze of those who do not know your worth. You are not here to make yourself small so that they might feel bigger. You see, difficult people will always have something to say. They will always find fault, always search for a weakness, always try to plant doubt where certainty once stood. But their words only have power if you give it to them. Their judgments only carry weight if you let them rest on your shoulders. Their opinions only shape you if you allow them to take root in your mind. And so, my dear, you must learn the art of letting go, the art of hearing but not holding, the art of knowing who you are so deeply that nothing they say can shake you. Because when you know yourself, when you stand firm in your truth, when you refuse to let the opinions of others define you, their words lose their grip. They fall away like leaves in the wind, unable to cling to the strength of who you are. It will not always be easy. Some words will sting. Some judgments will cut deeper than you expect. Some moments will make you question yourself, wonder if they see something you do not, if their version of you holds some truth. But listen to me, now you are the only one who lives in your skin, the only one who walks in your shoes, the only one who truly knows the heart that beats within your chest. And if they do not know your heart, how can they ever truly know you? So let them talk if they must. Let them assume, let them build their own version of you in their minds. But do not carry it. Do not take it with you. Do not let it shape the way you move, the way you see yourself, the way you love yourself. Because their words are not yours to hold. You are not here to be understood by everyone. You are not here to meet their expectations. You are not here to prove anything to those who will never see you clearly. You are here to be you fully and freely, without apology, without permission, without the weight of their opinions pressing you down. So when they come, because they will come, stand tall. Hold your peace. Let their words pass through you like air, like water, like something that was never meant to stay, because your worth does not live in their mouths. Your truth does not live in their judgments. Your identity does not belong to them. It belongs to you. Oh, my dear, you have walked with me through these words, through these lessons, through the storms and the stillness. You have seen that difficult people will come, wrapped in their own battles, carrying their own burdens, speaking in ways that try to pull you from your peace. But you are not here to be shaken, to be dimmed, to be drawn into storms that do not belong to you. No, you are here to stand in your own light, to hold your own truth, to protect your own joy. You have learned that you do not have to match their energy, that you do not have to take on their weight, that you do not have to let their words settle in your heart. You have seen that boundaries are not walls but wisdom, that walking away is not weakness but strength, that rising above is not about proving a point but about protecting your peace. And most of all, you have come to know that their judgments do not define you, their chaos does not belong to you, and their words only have the power that you allow them to have. So as you move forward, as you step back into the world where difficult people will always exist, remember this: you are in control of the energy you carry, the battles you choose, the peace you protect. Let them be who they are, but do not let them make you forget who you are. You are strong, you are wise, you are steady in your grace. And with that, I leave you with this: go forward with your head high, your heart full, and your spirit unshaken. Choose your peace over their storms, your light over their darkness, your truth over their noise. And when they come, because they will come, smile, breathe, and walk on. Good luck on your journey. May you always carry peace in your heart and strength in your soul. Thank you. There comes a moment in every life when the air grows tense and words like arrows begin to fly. In that moment, it is not always truth that speaks the loudest, but pride. It is not always wisdom that wins, but the voice that refuses to yield. And yet, in the midst of that storm, there is a power so deep, so still, it can quiet the thunder. That power lives in you. You do not have to match every raised voice with one of your own. You do not have to let your peace be stolen by someone else's storm. When the heat of an argument rises and the ground trembles with ego, breathe. Breathe deep from the well of your soul. Let your silence speak volumes. Let your stillness carry weight. Sometimes the most powerful words are the ones never spoken. You are not made to be dragged into every fire. You are made to walk with grace through it. When someone comes with harshness, meet them with calm. When they come with noise, answer with reason. You can hold your dignity without crushing theirs. You can speak the truth without raising your voice, and you can walk away from chaos without running from the moment. There is no strength in shouting to be heard. There is no honor in proving a point that wounds another. The victory of a quiet heart is greater than the roar of a wounded one. So when the world calls you into battle with words, choose your ground carefully. Stand on the soil of kindness, stand in the shade of wisdom, and plant your feet in patience. Remember, it is not weakness to step back. It is strength. It is not foolishness to choose peace. It is power. Those who control their words control their world, and those who guard their tone guard their future. When you master your reaction, you do not only change the moment, you change your life. There is a sacred strength in the ability to stay calm when emotions rise. The world may push you, provoke you, and prod at your patience, but the moment you refuse to be moved by chaos, you claim your power. Arguments are not battles to be won, they are mirrors that reveal what lies within us. And when that mirror reflects peace instead of fury, that is where transformation begins. It is easy to raise your voice. It is natural to feel heat in your chest when you are misunderstood or falsely accused. But your true strength is not measured in volume. It is measured in your stillness. When tempers flare and the air gets heavy with unspoken wounds, many people speak just to be heard. But to stay calm, to stay rooted in the middle of emotional noise, is a rare kind of wisdom. It is not silence of weakness. It is silence of power. Because when you do not react, you choose. And in that choice, you hold the key to peace. You do not have to match chaos with chaos. You do not have to raise your tone just because someone else has forgotten theirs. People often mirror the energy they receive, and when you offer calm, you invite calm in return. This is not about suppressing your truth or swallowing your voice. This is about knowing the right time and the right way to let your truth be heard. When you speak from peace, people listen. When you speak from fury, people resist. So when the argument pulls at you, ask yourself, what do I want to leave behind? A trail of broken words or a legacy of grace? We were not created to explode every time we feel hurt. We were given minds to reason, hearts to feel, and souls to pause. That pause is where wisdom lives. The calm response is not the absence of emotion. It is the presence of maturity. Anyone can lose control, but the one who stays centered, even when the ground shakes, is the one who owns the moment. You are that person. You can be the still water in the storm. Sometimes in arguments, people are not looking for truth. They are looking for validation of their pain. If you listen carefully, not just to words, but to wounds, you will see that calmness becomes healing. You do not have to agree to be kind. You do not have to fight to be right. You can stand in your truth without swinging it like a sword. Calmness is not a strategy. It is a way of life. You have seen what happens when people argue with fire in their eyes. No one wins. The louder it gets, the more hearts shut down. So I follow that path. Let your presence disarm the tension. Let your tone be the one that brings the temperature down. You do not have to prove anything in that moment. You already proved something when you stay composed. That is your real statement. This calmness, this quiet strength, does not mean you do not feel. It means you are choosing what kind of energy you want to live in. You have the right to protect your peace, even in the middle of a disagreement. You have the right to say, let's revisit this when we both can hear each other. That is not escaping. That is wisdom in motion. Your peace is not for sale, and your reaction is your responsibility. So the next time you feel anger rising, take one breath deeper than the urge. Give your mind 1 second more than your pride. Remind yourself that your calm is not surrender. It is command. You are not losing by staying silent. You are winning by choosing how to speak. That is how you control any argument. You master the storm by mastering your stillness. And when others expect fire but meet peace, you've already changed the outcome. Listening is an art that too few have mastered, especially in the heat of an argument. Most people do not listen to understand, they listen to reply, to defend, to win. And in doing so, they lose something far greater than the argument. They lose connection. They lose the chance to learn, to grow, and to truly be present with another soul. But when you learn to listen to understand, everything changes. The tone shifts. The energy calms. And the war of words turns into a bridge of awareness. When you are locked in disagreement, your first instinct might be to speak up, to correct, to defend your ground. But what if you resisted that impulse? What if instead of rushing to respond, you opened yourself to truly hear what the other person is trying to say beneath the noise? Often, arguments are not about the surface issue, they are about unspoken pain, unmet expectations, or fears left unheard for too long. If you listen closely, not just with your ears, but with your heart, you will start to see that most people just want to be seen, not silenced. Understanding does not mean you agree, it simply means you respect the other person enough to make space for their voice. It means you are choosing empathy over ego. When someone feels truly heard, their defenses lower, their words soften, and in that moment, your willingness to listen becomes a healing force. You cannot change how someone feels, but you can change how safe they feel expressing it. And that, in many cases, changes everything. Listening with intention requires presence. It means putting aside the desire to be right and focusing instead on being real. When you are fully present in a conversation, even a hard one, you give something rare. You give dignity, you give space, you give understanding without judgment. And when you do that, you disarm the tension without ever raising your voice. You turn the argument into a moment of insight rather than injury. Get back to the last time you felt truly heard, not interrupted, not corrected, just understood. That feeling is powerful, isn't it? It quiets the heart, it brings clarity, it gives you space to breathe and reflect. Now imagine offering that same gift to someone else during an argument. You may not solve everything in that moment, but you will build trust. You will plant a seed of mutual respect that can grow stronger with time. So the next time you find yourself in a disagreement, lean in instead of pushing back. Ask questions that invite clarity. Say, help me understand what you mean, or I hear that this matters deeply to you. These are not signs of weakness. They are signs of emotional intelligence. They show that you value the relationship more than the win. And often, that alone is enough to turn confrontation into collaboration. It takes discipline to hold your tongue. It takes courage to stay open when you feel hurt or challenged. But you are not just a product of your emotions, you are the master of them. Your ability to listen, to understand, is proof of that mastery. It is the stillness behind your calm. It is the reason your presence carries weight without raising volume. It is how you remain centered when others are pulled into chaos. In every argument, there is a choice. You can listen to gather ammunition, or you can listen to gather wisdom. The first will keep the fire burning. The second will lead you to peace. And when peace becomes your purpose, the argument no longer controls you. You control the moment by controlling your focus. Understanding does not end the argument every time, but it always ends the need for shouting. And that is where the real victory lies. When you listen not just to respond, but to receive the truth behind the words, you show strength that cannot be shaken. You show that your goal is not to overpower, but to uplift, to bridge the gap, and to move forward with grace. That is how you control any argument, and that is how you grow in every one. There is a sacred difference between reacting and responding. And learning to respond with intention rather than impulse is one of the most powerful ways to control any argument. When we react without thought, we hand over our peace to the moment. But when we respond with care, we reclaim our authority. Arguments often thrive in the space where impulse reigns, where words are hurled before hearts are heard. Obstacle that can either crush you or impress you in time. You are the guardian of your emotions. You are the guardian of your voice. And every word you speak has weight. To respond with intention is to pause, to breathe, to feel, and then choose. It is to allow yourself that moment of stillness between the sting of someone's words and the sound of your own. That moment may seem small, but it holds the power to change everything. Because in that pause, you ask yourself not, what do I feel right now, but what do I want this moment to become? Do you want it to become a fire, or do you want it to become light? Do you want to burn bridges or build them? When you respond with intention, you are not suppressing your emotions. You are honoring them in a wiser way. You are telling yourself that while anger may visit, it does not have to take control. You are saying, yes, I feel hurt, but I will not let that hurt define how I treat others. There is dignity in that choice. There is wisdom in that self-restraint. And there is freedom in knowing that you are not bound to your first reaction. It is easy to lash out. It is human to want to defend your pride or protect your truth. But sometimes the best defense is not louder words. It is calmer energy. Your tone can de-escalate a fight faster than facts. Your choice of words can either close a door or open a path. Every argument offers you a mirror, and the way you respond shows not only who they are, but who you are becoming. You were not created to fight every battle. You were created to rise above some of it. And rising above does not mean walking away every time. It means showing up with clarity, not confusion, with direction, not desperation. When you speak with intention, you speak with purpose. You know why you are speaking, what your heart wants to communicate, and what kind of outcome you are aiming for. This is not manipulation, it is maturity. It is the strength to respond in a way that serves healing instead of harm. Arguments can become endless when both people are reacting. It becomes a volley of defense, accusation, interruption, and noise. But when one person decides to respond with calm clarity, the storm begins to settle. That person can be you. You can be the one who takes a breath instead of raising a voice. You can be the one who chooses the right word over the fast one. You can be the one who waits just long enough to say what needs to be said, not what your emotions beg you to say. In that moment of fire, and when you do that, you shift the entire rhythm of the conversation. You no longer argue just to win. You speak to be understood. You listen to build. And even if the other person does not follow your lead, you have already elevated the space with your presence. That is the unseen victory of intentional response. It changes you from within. Let your response carry your values. Let it reflect your growth. Even when the other person forgets their grace, you do not have to forget yours. You can respond in a way that you will not regret. You can walk away from the conversation knowing you remained true to yourself. This is how you move from emotional chaos to emotional clarity. This is how you control any argument. Not by overpowering the other person, but by mastering yourself. Because the one who responds with intention walks away not only in peace, but in power. When tension builds and emotions rise, the first thing to leave the room is often patience. But the quiet power lies in your ability to pause before reacting. That 1 second, that one deep breath, that one moment where you choose to wait rather than lash out becomes the line between chaos and clarity. It is in that pause where your real strength shows, not in how fast you defend yourself, but in how wisely you choose your next move. We live in a world that moves fast. Opinions are thrown like stones, words are fired without thought, and people feel pressured to respond instantly, to clap back before they even understand what was said. But when you give yourself space before reacting, you do something radical. You take back control. You silence the storm long enough to hear your own wisdom rise above the noise. And when you allow that silence, even for a few seconds, you give yourself the opportunity to choose peace instead of panic. Arguments thrive on speed. The faster the words, the hotter the exchange, but peace thrives on stillness. The more time you give yourself to reflect, the more likely you are to speak with purpose. There is no need to rush to defend your honor or prove your point in the heat of the moment. The truth does not fear time. And your dignity does not depend on how quickly you react. It depends on how thoughtfully you respond. That pause is not weakness, it is discipline. It is not a retreat, it is a return to yourself. In the pause, you ask yourself, what is really happening here? Is this about truth or is it about ego? Is this about solving something or is it just about being heard? When you ask these questions, you rise above the surface level storm and touch the deeper waters of understanding. You stop reacting from wounded pride and begin responding from inner clarity. The most powerful people are not the ones who can shout the loudest or argue the longest. They are the ones who can remain composed while everything around them is pulling at their patience. That pause before reaction is your sanctuary. It is where you remember who you are and what kind of energy you want to carry forward. It is the invisible space where you protect your peace, your grace, and your dignity. People often mistake silence for surrender, but they do not see the strength it takes to hold it. They do not see the restraint behind your calm, the wisdom behind your quiet. But you see it, you feel it, and you know that staying silent for a moment can save you from saying something you will carry with regret. You know that your emotions are visitors, not rulers, and that you are allowed to let them pass before giving them a voice. When you pause, you also give others a chance to reflect. Your calm can influence their chaos. Your stillness can inspire theirs. You create space not only for yourself, but for the whole conversation to breathe. You shift the energy from reaction to reflection, from noise to meaning, and in doing so, you change the very nature of the argument. It is never about suppressing your feelings or pretending not to care. It is about honoring your emotions enough to handle them with wisdom. It is about realizing that what you say in anger may echo longer than you intended, so you choose to pause. You choose to breathe. You choose to respond from a place that honors your peace and protects your power. Let others rush if they must. Let them react if they choose. But you, be the one who pauses. Be the one who waits just long enough to feel your truth before you speak it. That moment of stillness is your crown. That silence before the storm is your shield. And with it, you walk through conflict not as a fighter, but as a master of your own soul. In the heart of every argument, there comes a choice. Not always clear, not always easy, but always yours. You can choose to escalate, or you can choose to elevate, and that choice often lies in whether you value clarity over conflict and respect over ego. The moment you begin to seek understanding rather than domination, the conversation begins to change. Not because the other person suddenly becomes calm, but because you do. Clarity is not just about what you say, it's about what you mean, how you mean it, and whether your words are rooted in honesty or in pride. When voices rise and emotions cloud judgment, clarity becomes the anchor. It is the still light that cuts through the storm. Without it, the argument becomes a blur of blame, a cycle of who's right and who's wrong. But when you choose to speak with clarity, you speak from a place of purpose. You make sure your words are not just heard, but understood. You begin to build a bridge instead of digging a trench. And then there's respect, not just for the other person, but for yourself. There is nothing stronger than someone who can stay kind in the middle of conflict. It doesn't mean you agree with everything. It doesn't mean you let others walk over your boundaries. It means you hold your position with grace. You recognize that the other person, no matter how flawed or fiery, is still human. You remember that arguments are not opportunities to belittle, but invitations to grow. And when you lead with respect, you invite it back. Maybe not instantly, but eventually. Too often we are tempted to win the fight at the cost of the connection. We raise our voices to be heard, forgetting that the most powerful words are those spoken with steady conviction and calm. Conflict wants noise, but wisdom prefers clarity. Pride wants dominance, but growth demands respect. And every time you let your heart lead with those values, you not only control the argument, you transform it. This doesn't mean you become passive. This doesn't mean you shrink your truth or avoid necessary conversations. It means that when you do speak, you speak with intention. You choose words that lift even when they challenge. You choose tone that corrects without crushing. You choose clarity so your point is not lost in emotion. And you choose respect so your message is not lost in offense. These are the choices that define emotional maturity. Arguments are rarely just about the words being said. They are about how those words make people feel. When you bring clarity into a conversation, you remove confusion, assumptions, and guesswork. You say what you mean, but not to wound. You listen not just to reply, but to truly understand where the other person is coming from. And in that space, mutual growth becomes possible. Respect does not mean silence in the face of disrespect. It means responding in a way that reflects who you are, not who they are in their worst moment. You remain composed because you know what you stand for. You do not let someone else's anger dictate your actions. You do not let their chaos become your energy. Instead, you root yourself in what truly matters: peace, truth, and growth. Every conflict is an opportunity to either tear down or build up. Clarity builds understanding. Respect builds trust. And when those two work together, you begin to see the argument for what it is: a moment, not a definition; a conversation, not a war; a challenge, not a threat. And you, with your steady voice and open heart, become the one who rises above. You become the one who chooses not to win through force, but to lead through presence. You become the one who leaves the argument not only in control, but in peace. And that is the mark of someone who has mastered more than just the moment. They've mastered themselves. The tone you choose is often more powerful than the words you speak. In the midst of an argument, your tone becomes the carrier of your intention. It tells the other person whether you seek to harm or to heal, to dominate or to understand. Mastering your tone is not about masking your emotions, but about guiding them with grace. It is the art of expressing what matters without letting your voice betray your peace. And when you master your tone, you begin to master the moment. Arguments tend to escalate not because the topic is too deep, but because the tone becomes too sharp. Even a truth spoken in bitterness can wound, while a difficult truth spoken with softness can open the heart. That is the quiet secret of tone. It turns meaning into experience. You may be absolutely right in what you say, but if the tone is heavy with blame, your message will not land. It will be resisted. It will be deflected. It will ignite rather than calm. And suddenly the point is lost in the fire of delivery. But imagine what happens when you speak with measured calm, even while standing firm. You become a voice that does not trigger defenses, but invites reflection. Your tone can lower the heat in the room. It can turn argument into conversation, resistance into curiosity. This is not about being passive or sugarcoating your truth. It's about honoring the power of your delivery. Because the one who speaks with control holds the rhythm of the moment. The tone becomes the compass, pointing the direction of the conversation. There is something deeply commanding about someone who doesn't need to yell to be heard. Their presence is felt in how they carry their words, not in how loudly they speak them. And you have that power too. You can train your voice to mirror the peace you want to maintain. You can slow your breath when emotions rise. You can soften your words when tension builds. You can keep your tone anchored even when your heart is stormed. And that ability does not make you weak. It makes you wise. Often in conflict, people raise their voices because they feel unheard. But when you master your tone, you give others a reason to listen without needing to defend. You show that you value both truth and tenderness. You do not need to shout to stand tall. You do not need to overwhelm to make your message clear. Your tone becomes a reflection of your self-respect, your self-awareness, and your emotional intelligence. It takes practice, yes, because when frustration strikes, your voice is the first to carry it. But if you breathe first, if you pause even for a second, you give yourself the space to choose how your message will come across. Do you want to be a storm or a lighthouse? Do you want to shake the room or guide it back to balance? These are the choices tone gives you. People rarely forget how you made them feel. And in arguments, it's not just your words they remember. It's the tone that wrapped around them. Did your voice cut like a knife or cradle like a hand? Did you use your tone to strike or to steady? You have the power to decide every time. And when you begin to consistently use that power to de-escalate rather than provoke, you become a force of calm in a world too full of noise. Let your tone speak from the quiet strength within you. Let it say, I know who I am. Let it say, I do not need to shout to be sure of my truth. Let it say, even in disagreement, I will not forget my values. Because the person who has mastered their tone is no longer tossed by the waves of argument. They become the steady vessel in the middle of it all. Tone is not just a sound. It is a statement of who you are in conflict. And when you master that sound, you master how others experience you, how they receive your truth, and how the moment unfolds. That is how you control any argument, not by shouting louder, but by speaking wiser. There is a quiet, powerful freedom in knowing when to walk away, not in defeat, not in silence, but in grace. Some arguments are not meant to be won. Some moments are not worth the weight they place on your peace. And the strength to walk away, not because you are afraid, but because you are wise enough to recognize that the conversation no longer serves growth, is one of the highest forms of emotional maturity. You are not here to win every verbal battle. You are here to protect your energy, to stand in your truth without drowning in someone else's chaos. There will be times when no matter how calmly you speak, how clearly you express your thoughts, or how respectfully you carry your tone, the other person simply cannot or will not meet you where you are. Their mind is closed. Their heart is guarded. Their ears are tuned only to their own echo. In such moments, continuing the argument becomes like trying to plant seeds in dry, cracked earth. Nothing grows. And in trying to prove your point, you lose more than your voice. You lose your peace. Walking away does not mean you do not care. It means you care too much to keep poisoning the space between you with words that no longer bring light. It means you've recognized the difference between a conversation that challenges and a conversation that corrodes. There is no reward in staying in a room where understanding has left. There is no medal for exhausting yourself trying to be heard by someone who only wants to win, not understand. So you step back. You breathe, you choose yourself. This choice is not always easy. The ego resists. It wants to be right. It wants the last word. It wants to prove something. But the soul, the deeper self, wants peace. And when you tune into that part of you, the noise fades. You begin to see that your worth is not found in how many arguments you win, but in how often you choose not to let them define you. You begin to recognize that some battles are invitations to react and others are invitations to rise. To walk away with grace is to understand the power of letting go. letting go of the need to fix someone, letting go of the urge to defend yourself to someone who does not truly listen, letting go of the moment so it does not cling to your heart like a stain. Not everything deserves your full emotional investment. Some things are better left unanswered. Some words are best left unreplied, not as an act of bitterness, but as a gift to your own peace. Do not owe anyone your energy when the conversation turns toxic. You do not owe your attention to voices that speak only to tear you down. And you do not have to stay in the heat just to prove you can withstand it. Wisdom knows when to hold firm and when to release. Strength knows when to speak and when to be still. Grace knows when to stay and when to go. There is a kind of beauty in walking away without slamming doors. You leave quietly, but with your dignity intact. You leave knowing you did not let the fire change your nature. You did not let anger rewrite your character. That is the real victory, because anyone can argue. Anyone can raise their voice, defend their pride, or return offense for offense, but not everyone can walk away with love still in their heart and peace still in their hands. Sometimes the most powerful words are the ones never spoken. And the most powerful moment in an argument is the one when you choose yourself over the need to win. You become the stillness in the storm. You rise above the noise. You carry your truth like a gentle flame, refusing to let the wind of conflict blow it out. That is how you stay in control. That is how you protect your spirit. And that is how you walk away, not in weakness, but in wisdom. In every argument, you are given a choice, not just to speak, but to lead, not just to react, but to rise. When you stay calm, when you listen to understand, when you respond with intention and pause before reacting, you are not just managing a moment, you are mastering yourself. When you choose clarity over conflict and respect over ego, when you control your tone and know when to walk away with grace, you become a powerful presence in a world that too often trades peace for. This is not about being silent. It is about being wise. It is not about backing down. It is about standing tall in a way that honors both your truth and your peace. Let your voice reflect your growth. Let your actions reflect your self-respect. And let every argument you face be a reminder that you are not here to win battles. You are here to protect your spirit, preserve your energy, and lead with grace. May you carry this wisdom into every difficult moment. May you find peace where there once was pressure and strength where there once was struggle. Control does not come from overpowering others. It comes from knowing yourself deeply enough to choose what truly matters. Good luck on your journey toward calm, clarity, and confidence. And thank you for allowing these words to walk with you. My dear friends, there comes a time when you must sit yourself down and have a quiet conversation with your soul. A moment when you can no longer run from your thoughts or drown them in noise. You see, your mind can be your sanctuary or your prison. And the difference lies in what you allow to echo in its halls. If you wish to change your life, you must first learn how to master that steady whisper within you, not with chains, not with force, but with gentle direction and fierce compassion. Every day you are being fed something, words, ideas, beliefs. They are being poured into you from the world around you. You hear them from voices you trust and voices you ignore. And if you are not careful, if you do not choose deliberately what you feed your mind, you will begin to repeat the noise of others and mistake it for your truth. You must become the gardener of your own thoughts, planting seeds that serve you, weeding out what does not. Start with this. Speak to yourself with the kindness you give to strangers. Yes, you. Speak to yourself with patience when you fall, with grace when you are unsure, and with power when you are afraid. You would be surprised what your soul can do when it is no longer punished for trying. Train your mind to listen to the truth and not just the loudest voice. Quiet the nonsense, silence the cruel, make room for the good to grow. Every part of you can be shaped, every part of you can be strengthened. And your mind, more than anything else, is waiting to be trained, waiting to be taught how to serve you instead of sabotage you. The mind is a powerful muscle, but like any muscle, it does not grow strong by chance. It grows strong through practice, through repetition, through choice. People want peace without the discipline it requires. They want focus without the stillness it demands. But the truth is simple. You must train your thoughts like you train your body. You do it every single day, not just when you feel like it. You wake up and the world rushes in. The noise, the pressure, the opinions. It pulls at your attention before your feet even touch the ground. And that is why the very first thing you must do is take back your power. You must claim your morning before the world claims your mind. Choose a thought that empowers you, that reminds you of your worth, your purpose, your strength, and repeat it like a prayer. Do it with intention. Do it with belief, even if your voice trembles. You don't wait for motivation. You create it by showing up to your mind like it matters, because it does. Control is not force, it is presence. It is the steady hand that guides the wandering thought. You do not yell at the mind to behave. You invite it into alignment with patience and consistency. You catch yourself in the middle of old thinking, and instead of judging yourself, you redirect. Again and again, that is the training, not perfection, but redirection. And each time you pull yourself back to focus, each time you speak to yourself with clarity, you are building mental strength. You are becoming the master, not the servant of your own thinking. There will be days when your mind feels heavy, when it wants to spiral into what ifs and why nots, when it clings to stories of not good enough and not ready yet. But those are the moments that matter most, because those are the days when training counts. You don't wait until you're drowning to learn how to swim. You learn now, while you can breathe, so when the waves come, you already know how to stay afloat. And yes, it takes effort, it takes intention, but that effort becomes your freedom. That intention becomes your peace. Most people never teach their mind how to obey. They let it run wild with fear and confusion and wonder why they feel lost. You were never meant to follow your every thought. You were meant to lead them with discipline, with faith, with love. That's the true brainwashing, not letting the world do it for you, but choosing what you believe, choosing what you become. If you want power, you build it. If you want control, you earn it. And it starts by showing up to your thoughts like they matter. One morning at a time, one choice at a time, one breath at a time. Speak the truth to your mind, even when it resists, and keep showing up until your mind no longer pulls you around, but follows the voice you've trained it to trust. There's a voice inside you that has been repeating the same story for years. It whispers quietly at first, but over time it becomes louder, more familiar, more convincing. It tells you you're not enough, not ready, not capable. It speaks in the language of fear, of comparison, of limitation. And the danger lies not in hearing it, but in believing it. If you want to control your mind, you must start by replacing those echoes of self-doubt with a new truth. You must repeat what is good, what is right, what is possible, until it becomes the only thing your mind knows how to say. We often underestimate the power of repetition. We think we have to feel something deeply for it to be real, but feelings follow focus. Belief follows repetition. You don't have to feel strong every day, you just have to speak strength every day. And when you do it again and again, when you choose words that lift instead of limit, You begin to rewire your belief system from the inside out. What once felt like lies begins to feel like truth. What once felt impossible becomes the foundation of a new reality. This isn't about pretending. This isn't about ignoring pain or denying fear. It's about choosing what gets to stay in your mind and what doesn't. Self-doubt will come, yes, but you don't have to give it a seat at your table. You can listen and still say, no, that's not who I am anymore. You can feel afraid and still choose to speak confidence. That is the work. That is how you take your power back, by being deliberate with your thoughts and unshakable with your words. Speak to yourself like someone worth believing in. Say it out loud if you must. Say it when your hands are shaking and your heart is unsure. Say it when no one else does. Tell yourself, I am growing, I am worthy, I am learning, I am becoming, and don't stop. Don't wait for proof. Don't wait for applause. Your mind does not change in silence. It changes in repetition, and you get to decide what gets repeated. Every time you speak with love instead of judgment, every time you tell yourself you are strong instead of small, every time you affirm who you want to become, you are carving a new path in your brain. You are taking back control from the voices that were never yours to begin with. You are brainwashing yourself in the most powerful way possible by choosing truth over noise, faith over fear, and growth over stagnation. And remember, this takes time. You will not change everything in a day, but you will change something today, and that is enough. Keep planting the seeds with your words, and soon your beliefs will bloom into action. Your mind is always listening. Make sure what it hears is something worth becoming. Your mind is not separate from what you take in every day. It reflects everything you allow to enter. Every word you hear, every image you see, every story you repeat. These things shape the world inside your head, and if you're not paying attention, if you're not careful, your mind becomes a mirror of the chaos around you. You want peace, but you're feeding it conflict. You want focus, but you're feeding it distraction. You want confidence, but you're feeding it comparison. The truth is, you become what you consume. And that's why learning to control your mind starts with guarding what you allow to enter. There is a quiet power in choice, the power to say no to the noise, the power to turn off what drains you, the power to walk away from what does not honor your spirit. Not everything that is loud is important. Not everything that is trending is true, and not every voice that speaks deserves a place in your mind. You have to protect your peace like it's sacred, because it is. You have to treat your mind like a garden. If you don't remove the weeds, they will take over everything beautiful. What are you watching? What are you listening to? Who are you giving your energy to? These are not casual questions. These are the roots of your thoughts. You may think you're just scrolling, just watching, just passing time, but all of it is soaking into you. All of it is programming your brain, word by word, image by image. If you feed your mind negativity, bitterness, drama, and fear, you will not rise. You will sink slowly, quietly, without even noticing, until one day you no longer recognize your own reflection. But the same is true in reverse. Feed your mind love. Feed it truth. Feed it strength. Choose books that challenge you, conversations that inspire you, voices that call you higher. Put yourself in the presence of people who are building something, not breaking everything. Let your mind feast on wisdom, courage, and light. Make it a habit, not a chore. Make it your protection, not your punishment. Because when you guard your mind, you start to hear yourself clearly. Not the world, not the opinions, not the noise, just you. And that's where power lives. That's where direction begins. And from that space, you can choose what to think, how to feel, who to become. But you must first remove what was never meant to live inside you. Train yourself to notice how you feel after consuming something. Did it lift you or lower you? Did it open your heart or close it? Did it make you feel enough or make you question everything? Your energy is the answer. Pay attention. Let your intuition guide what you allow in. You don't have to explain your boundaries. You just need to honor them. This is how you regain control, not by fighting the mind, but by choosing what you feed it. Every single day you are either strengthening your mind or sabotaging it, and the choice is always in your hands. Guard your gates, protect your peace, and never forget, your mind will grow in the direction of what it's watered with. Choose wisely. In a world that never stops talking, silence is an act of strength. And yet, most people are afraid of it. They avoid it. They fill every quiet space with noise, as if silence might reveal something they are not ready to face. But if you want to control your mind, if you truly want to own your thoughts and not let them own you, then you must learn to sit with silence. You must invite it in, not as an enemy, but as a teacher. Because within silence, there is clarity. And within clarity, there is power. Your mind is constantly racing. Thoughts come and go like waves crashing on the shore, pulling your attention in every direction. You think about what happened yesterday, what might happen tomorrow, what someone said, what you should have done. And in the middle of it all, you lose a present moment. You lose yourself. That's why stillness is not optional, it's necessary. It is not weakness, it is wisdom. When you learn to quiet the noise inside, you begin to hear what truly matters. You begin to listen to your own truth, not the world's confusion. Silence is not empty, it is full of answers, but you can only hear them when you stop running from your own thoughts. When you sit in stillness, you begin to notice the patterns in your mind, the stories that play on repeat, the fears that keep resurfacing, the voices that were never yours to begin with. You begin to see which thoughts are visitors and which ones belong to your truth. And in that noticing, you create choice, you create space, you create control. It's in the quiet that your power returns. You begin to understand that not every thought needs your attention, not every feeling needs a reaction, and not every problem needs to be solved right now. You learn to pause. You learn to breathe. You learn to separate yourself from the noise that tries to define you, and in that pause, you gain your strength back. Silence teaches discipline. It teaches patience. It teaches awareness. And these are not small lessons. These are the foundations of a controlled mind. Because once you can sit still and not be shaken by every thought that rises, you are no longer a prisoner to your mind. You become its master. You no longer follow every emotion. You observe it. You no longer believe every doubt. You challenge it. That is the shift. That is the power of silence. Even a few minutes a day can change you. You don't need hours of stillness. You just need to begin. Sit in the morning before the world wakes up. Close your eyes. Let your thoughts come and go without holding on to any of them. Breathe deeply. Let yourself be. Let the silence do what noise never could. Bring you back to yourself. And slowly, your mind begins to trust the quiet. Slowly, the chaos softens. Slowly, you realize you don't have to control everything to feel in control. You just need to be present. A quiet mind is not an empty one. It's a focused one, a powerful one. A mind that doesn't chase every distraction, but stands still like a mountain in the middle of a storm. So create space for silence. Make it a practice, a ritual, a daily return to self. And from that space, let every other decision flow. Because once you know how to quiet your mind, the world will never again have the power to shake it. The way you speak to yourself becomes the way you live. It becomes the story you believe, the standard you accept, and the world you create within your mind. And yet, so many speak to themselves in ways they would never dare speak to another. They tear themselves down in silence. They criticize every flaw, replay every mistake, and judge themselves without mercy. But if you want to take control of your mind, you must begin by changing your inner language. You must learn to speak to yourself with fierce kindness, not soft weakness, but courageous compassion. Kindness is not letting yourself off the hook. It's holding yourself accountable with love. It's saying, I see where I need to grow, and I still deserve grace while I do. That kind of kindness builds strength. It builds resilience. It rebuilds confidence where shame has lived for too long. Because when you speak to yourself like someone worth fighting for, you begin to act like someone who believes in their own word. You start to treat your mind not as an enemy, but as a partner. And this takes practice. It takes deliberate effort. You may not believe the kind words at first. They may feel unnatural, even uncomfortable. But remember, your mind has been conditioned for years by others, by the past, by pain. So when you introduce love into that space, the mind doesn't always know what to do with it. That's why repetition matters. That's why daily language matters. You don't wait to feel confident. You speak to yourself as if you are, until the feeling grows from within. There's a voice inside you that listens to everything you say. And if that voice only hears blame, doubt, and criticism, it begins to believe those are the truths of your life. But if that voice hears encouragement, belief, and gentle strength, it begins to shift, it begins to grow. Your mind starts aligning with who you're becoming, not who you've been, and that is the transformation. That is how you begin to brainwash yourself with healing, not harm. You tell yourself, I am enough, even as I learn. You say, I made a mistake, but I am not a mistake. You remind yourself, I am growing into something better every day. And with every word, you're not just speaking, you're reshaping the foundation of your thoughts. You are creating safety inside your own head. And when your mind becomes a safe place, it becomes a powerful place. Because a safe mind can take risks. A safe mind can handle failure. A safe mind doesn't panic at the first sign of fear. It steadies itself. It breathes. It speaks kindly, and it moves forward. Do not underestimate the power of your voice, not the one others hear, but the one that lives inside you. That voice determines how you show up in the world. So train it, soften it, strengthen it. Talk to yourself like you matter, because you do. And when you speak with compassion and conviction, you won't need the world to tell you who you are. You will already know. Speak with grace, speak with honesty, speak with the fire of someone who refuses to tear themselves apart ever again. And over time, your mind will learn that the most powerful words it hears are the ones you give yourself. Your mind is the most sacred ground you will ever walk on. If you do not learn to master it, the world will gladly shape it for you. But the moment you take ownership by training your thoughts, feeding it purposefully, silencing the noise, and speaking to yourself with powerful kindness, you begin to take your life back. Not in one grand leap, but in steady steps, one choice, one word, one moment of clarity at a time. The work is not always easy, but it is always worth it, because a controlled mind creates a free soul. So trust the process. Be patient with your growth. Be intentional with your focus. And never forget, the change you seek begins with what you tell yourself when no one else is listening. Good luck on your journey. Protect your peace, guide your thoughts, and believe in your becoming. Thank you for listening. Keep rising.